Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon. Okay, today I would like to share experience of owning and driving a Volvo XC60 T5, which I bought for my wife actually back in 2017. This end of May will mark 6 years ownership of the car. Compared to my previous cars that I reviewed, I usually review, within 1 or 2 months after purchasing. But 6 years ago, I didn't actually have the opportunity to really do a quick review on this car, mainly because I seldom drive the XC60. It's my wife's daily car to drive the kids to school, back and forth, and so forth. But I do believe that this sharing might shed some light on what is it like to own a Volvo XC60, right? The thing is, 6 years down the road nowadays, maybe the experience will be different. But here it is, okay? So I bought the T5 model, 2017, built and made in 2017 as well. At that time it was a basic model for XC60. I did add 3 additional accessories. Mind you, 6 years ago, with Volvo, not many accessories were included in the car, so I had to add these accessories. So first was the reverse and front camera. Second, the remote ignition. Okay, that was not really required, but there was a discount on it, so I told myself, okay, let's just add it in. And the last is the boot cover. Mind you, 6 years ago, the boot cover did not come with the car, so I had to buy and pay additional for that. Right. The driving itself, first of all, okay. The driving itself, actually, it's good in the sense that I do feel it's a very steady car, even at higher speed, maybe 110, 120, or even higher. I do feel a good control on it. Noise is tolerable. I wouldn't say it's the quietest of SUVs, but still tolerable. Handling as well, taking corners at a higher speed, I also feel more confident. The steering at that time, 6 years ago, I don't believe it's just a hydraulic assisted steering, not electric assisted. So it is heavier than cars nowadays. So this one, give and take, is fun and feels safer during driving. But parking and so-called it's heavy, right? Compared to at least my C-Class C200 when I was still driving a C200 at the time when I purchased this XC60. Right? Cabin space and so on, I wouldn't complain. It was a cabin space that we were looking at. Kids were smaller 6 years ago. 3 kids in the back seat, and me and my wife in front. Just nice. It was good. Volvo. One thing that is very unique to Volvo, I believe, it's the headrest is non-adjustable. So it is what it is. Still comfortable. The seat as well, I would say comfortable compared to the Volvo that my late dad had when we were small. Was hard and so on. So yeah, relatively comfortable. Aircon is also cold enough for our country, for Malaysia. In fact, I do believe it's colder than my C200, in a way. Audio, it was a basic audio system, no GPS or anything. So that actually a big I would say a big shortfall for this model 6 years ago, and there was no option to add the infotainment that brings in the GPS. If you wanted the GPS, I had to go for the higher spec car, the model, the T8. Okay, so it is very tricky to drive around places that I'm unfamiliar with. Still had to depend on a mobile phone to GPS my way to the destination that I wish. Again, the infotainment still had a CD or a DVD, in fact a DVD drive. So you can watch movies in the smaller screen here, but of course, safety features, it will lock the image while driving. It will only show the video when you're stationary. It comes with a 500 gigabyte 10 was it 100 or 10 gigabyte 10 gigabyte internal hard disk, and a USB connection. It basically, you can transfer music or video files from a USB stick, or a CDR that was burned with files like WAV files, AAC, and so on. Sound system, I wouldn't complain as well. It's not the best, of course. It's a stock model. It's not an upgraded audio system and so on. The USB port also act as an iPod connection. However, both of my iPod, either the iPod Touch and also the iPod Classic, somehow it doesn't provide enough power to run those iPods. Okay, mind you, of course, those iPods are very old iPods, but my iPod Classic, especially the U2 version, bought in 2005, 2006, it can still be powered up by my Mercedes C200. Okay, 6 years ago. So, well, there you go. So we couldn't use any iPod to the car, attached to the car. You can connect to your phone and hotspot to get internet radio, so that one is good. I really like the reception on it. I always play my favorite jazz and classic in-tune radio based in France, so that one is good. Other than that, okay, fuel consumption wise, if I'm not mistaken, the full tank is 60 liters. On a long journey or cruise on a highway, it will give me about 650 to 700 kilometers. A mixed driving between highway and city driving, 60 liters will bring us to about 520 kilometers. So not too bad. To me, it's an expected fuel consumption for an SUV like this. Pickup, yes, it does have the grunt and the power to actually meet any of your not to say high speed, but overtaking cars and anything. It does give you the instant power or torque to actually overtake cars safely and confidently. I can't really recall the total horsepower. I believe it's about maybe 200. I know it's higher than my C200 car, so maybe it's about 240 or 240 horsepower or something like that. Sufficient power. So to me, those are all most of the plus points of the car. What I would say my dissatisfaction, I would say, is actually how the whole package of the car was advertised, or being sold by Volvo Malaysia. The one that really upset me is actually the notion of the service interval for the car is every 20,000 kilometers. That was part of the package. It did come with a 5-year warranty and 4 or 5 years service package as well, with a limited mileage, of course. Okay, I think 100,000 kilometers or something like that. However, this 20,000 kilometers interval for service, somehow until today, if I ask any Volvo technician or even salesman, I have not received any good and clear answer. Okay, my experience is at about 12,000 kilometers, 13,000 kilometers, which most of the European or continental cars that I've purchased, Mercedes and recently Land Rover, they always say that the service interval is 12,000 to 13,000 kilometers, but Volvo says 20,000 kilometers. Now, however, my experience owning this at 12,000 or 13,000 kilometers, warning message or saying that it will come out, says that low engine oil. Okay, so I went to the Volvo service center. I've been to quite a few, I think 2 or 3. Fortunately, their service center has been closing down one by one. So, nevertheless, so I went and said, what's going on? And the message or explanation given to me is that if I am to top up the engine oil at 12,000 or 13,000 kilometers, I have to pay. It's not part of the so-called free service. However, if I service the car straight away at 13,000 kilometers, it will be free of charge. It will be part of the service. But the question is, I said, yeah, but the interval is at 20,000 kilometers. That's less by 7,000 kilometers. Why should I service at 12,000 kilometers when the so-called recommended service is at 20,000 kilometers? The only explanation I got is, if you love your car, sir, you should service at 12,000 or 13,000 kilometers. I mean, alright, I might not be an expert in automotive overall, but okay, my background is mechanical engineering. I do handle a lot of machineries, even in my line of work, oil and gas. I have I manage a lot of equipment, Caterpillar engines, diesel engines, and so forth. Okay, I might not be an expert overall, but I do know my stuff, right? So until today, I will never get a clear answer from Volvo why they recommend 20,000 kilometers as part of the sales, but at 12,000, 13,000 kilometers, engine oil will, have to top up. And sometimes, it might be just a matter of 1 or 2 liters. Sometimes I do have to top up about 4 liters. So yeah, and I have to pay. Alright, I don't mind paying. Owning this kind of cars, if you don't do your calculation properly, then it can be expensive. But I'm ready to pay. But the point is, it was advertised that service interval is at 20,000 kilometers. I'm not sure of what the service interval is for the new Volvos nowadays, but that's my experience. Right, so that is the major part of this whole owning an XC60 that upsets me. Second, which it's still tolerable, but parts, of course, especially the non-conventional basic parts. I had issue with the blind spot warning system, the side mirror start to be faulty after 3 or 4 years. The blind spot system also about 3 or 4 years or so, stop working. So this kind of parts, it does take some time, easily 3 to 4 weeks to get a part. So even though it's not really you can still drive the car without one, right? But the point is, it's still under warranty, and the parts was hard to get. Other than that, service wise, it's okay. I've been to I've sent the car services in Federal Auto on the Federal Highway, but it closed down after that. Then I went to the one in KL along Jalan Kuching. After that, so it closed down. Then later on, I started to send to the one in Arah Damansara once, which was good. And then after that, Ingress opened up in Mutiara Damansara, so I sent them. Okay. But once the service package, the free service package expires, and a typical service of XC60 will set you back. Well, it did set me back. The service itself is about 1,800 ringgit, so not too bad for once a year service. Major faults is when after 5 years after the warranty, started to have leaks here and there, and then multiple warning signs start to come out. And yes, the most recent repair was leaks at the engine oil, and then the gearbox. I can't really recall, but it set me back to about 13,000 ringgit. Okay, that is about after five and a half years of ownership. I had another I would say bad experience when I asked, why is this failing after 5.5 years? And it was not even the so-called electronic side of things. No? It's not the sensors. It's basically the mechanical parts, leak here and there, blah blah blah. And the explanation I got, this is an old car. Again, I just can't accept explanation like that. When you have paid about 200, I bought this car since it's about 280,000 ringgit, and the explanation of things failing and breaking down is, it's an old car, 5.5 years old car. So I mean, I owned local cars like Produa, I've owned Proton, what else? Not the Japanese car. I don't even have to say about the longevity, right? Toyota, Mazda. I even had another Contiga, the Chevrolet Ultra, 6.5 years, 7 years. Those cars, no issues. My Produa Canary, 13 years. Of course it's debatable, but if you look at the surface values or surface situation, 5.5 years old for XC60, Volvo XC60 to fail here and there is just, to me, it's not acceptable. Well, it's subjective, I suppose. Others may feel that you need to expect failures in cars like this. Alright, so give and take, overall it is still, I would say, leaning towards positive ownership experience, but do take into account that my experience is purely based on this T5 XC60 2017 model. I don't know whether this, the my experience is considered okay or acceptable compared to other XC60 owners, but my comparison is more towards my ownership of other cars. The cars that I've owned before is, my first car was a Produa Canary, then a Honda Civic 2.0, the iVTEC, Chevrolet Ultra, Mazda 5, Toyota Camry, Toyota Altis, Mercedes XC200. Those are all the cars before I purchased this Volvo XC60. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's something to share. If anyone is interested to purchase a Volvo after seeing this video, by all means go and test drive. But it wouldn't hurt to really ask them about this 20,000 kilometer service interval and see what answer you get. Alright?